That's right. Yeah, sure. Because I call by this chance. Yes, I'm actually at the thing is, if you are only here, so you got about sorry, okay, that's it's pretty calm.
Yeah. Uh, okay. I don't know. It's a very low.
Come on. Anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think
Try
anyone does have no problem.
it.
No problem.
Ah,
12:45.
mi tí download tán.
You want to share screen with me, you know the one.
We need to get share screen.
I want to share screen.
We said so.
Mo ní sùn tẹ́lẹ̀ kí ló ti ẹ̀dẹ́ mi náà lẹ́nu lórí látọ̀ mo fún àdá lóògùn mi fún àdá lóògùn mi kò sọ wá ló ṣe. Ní ìjọ bí gbégbé jù yìí.
You're presenting, right? Yes. I mean, you just speak to the paper.
I find like it's more interesting if you look at the performance
Aha. Oh, yeah. The others will understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, I've said this one.
Yeah. If there was.
Only you, right? Yeah.
Let's go next one again. Said the same thing over the other like true edge of
I did your friend. I did your friends. Yeah.
yes.
You know that. Many issues, any most of them should have Android phone, right?
That's correct. That's awesome. Okay. Actually, let's say this one. No. Let me say this too. Okay. I feel very proud of that. Very proud. That has changed and has shaped.
Nice one.
Proud.
Nice one.
She's speaking about this.
So far, okay, she's not sharing it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me switch that.
Yes. And so.
Yes, please. Bro. Trying to go around it.
Just what kind of video is it?
How you say OG, like you can't say
Doesn't have to be digital assistant. Any have digital here.
What still uses what?
What about if digital is car control system? So you can.
Hopefully the Samsung, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Cheers, bro, right? Cheers, bro. I'm sorry, this is what you say. Maybe it's a minute of just it. Without.
Yeah.
Can we look at it?
It's really great. Let me see this thing. Thank you. I am not clear.
So can you personality?
Can I watch and explain the video check should say they not good.
It's not enough. It's nothing. You don't have the final number. I just check the
Does it have an index number or?
every file does have index.
Yeah, please check. Maybe I can just show it. Yes, legally.
Miss Diza, please, Mrs. Adiza, can you hear me? Please, I wrote to your box, your chat board. Yes, I'm telling you, you have the discretion to start. Yeah. We have one presenter here on ground. With this. This one, right? Yeah. Maybe because it's just really something else. And it won't be there.
Yeah, the final. No, no, that.
Yeah, define is not one thing.
Don't you can put this file for you? The one, yeah. Oh, I remember the. Yeah. The one check myself. That's search.
Identities. Well, we just. We want to do this for us. Okay, sir. What do you say the stuff? What do you have? Okay, audio, right?
Mr. Kodria. Okay, I start not to waste our time.
I think they're the same room. Yeah. And then someone should mute. Yeah. I think it is serious.
How will I say I speak?
Whatever you have to do, just don't. All right. So you got it shut.
We know it's actually calendar insurance, right?
She not like mentioned that she loves the alpha just think we need a check the system. I was thinking, but then, hope please, we are stopping prompt actually. We're starting. I told her she could start. Hello, Mrs. Adiza. Please. Yes, you may start. Please, since your presenters are with you and we have only one person on the ground.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Yes, please, and I want to employ you, please, to maintain strictly by time. I don't know how many times you're going to apportion each of your presenter. We have to stop front.
We'll give them 15 minutes each, since there are 3. That's 45 minutes. So ordinarily, the panel is supposed to stop by 2. So we're meant to stop 2:15. So we have enough time if we give them 15 minutes each. Okay, can we start now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the part 2 of the panel. And the first presenter for today is Mr. Kodria. Mr. Sharif Kodria is here. So I'm giving you 15 minutes to present your paper. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know the person yet.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr.
My name is
Kadria Shamsi, presenting on tracking the life cycle of SARS in the Ilorin metropolis. Establishment, functionality from 1992 to 2020. To start with, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is also known as SARS, is a notorious unit of Nigerian police, established in 1992 in Lagos by the then retired Commissioner of Police, known as Simeon Danladi. This SARS is also synonymous as with human rights violation, including extrajudicial killings, tortures, arbitrary arrests, and unlawful detentions and extortion of citizens of Nigeria, especially in Ilorin also, which is the case of study. Initially, this SARS formed to combat armed robbery. SARS mandated shifted over the years and leading to the word targeting the young men perceived to be involved in cyber crimes, often based solely on their ownership of laptops or smartphone. The abuse of power sparked widespread as a result of public discontent, and this ultimately culminated in the EndSARS movement. This study employs an historical perspective to investigate the evolution, operation, and eventual disbandment of SARS within Ilorin metropolis, and also in Nigeria generally, from 1992 to 2020, utilizing both primary and secondary data sources This qualitative research incorporates interview with protest participants and insights from Kwara State Ministry of Justice to understand the government response to SARS misconduct. Findings indicate a history of power abuse by SARS operation in Ilorin, which motivated significant public participation during the 2020 and SARS saga protest, eventually leading to the disbandment of the unit. This research concludes the protest has impacted the economic and social dynamics of Ilorin, despite some negative consequences. It also highlights the necessity for government agencies to uphold fundamental human rights and urge political leaders to commit to protecting the rights of citizens. Under this, my work, I shall be discussing about how SARS was established in Ilorin. Of course, SARS was established in 1992 in Lagos, and it takes 10 years before SARS could get to the area of study, which is Ilorin Metropolis. And that was, it got to Ilorin in 2002. And as such, also spread to other 36 states in Nigeria. SARS in Ilorin, like in every other part of the country, SARS was established as a special unit in 1992 to tackle increasing incidents of armed robberies and kidnapping by ransom criminal elements operating across Nigeria. Originally set up to operate independently in order to target criminal groups. The unit relied on anonymity as a mode of operation. SARS operation convert operation in plain clothes and unmarked vehicle to support police operation responding to community distress calls and armed robbery and other crimes. For about 10 years, SARS only operated in Lagos, but by 2002, it has spread all over 36 states of the Federation, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, and also Ilorin inclusive, which is Kwara State. It was counted as one of the 14 units under the Nigerian Police Force, Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, although it has been on record that police force in Ilorin failed to fight crimes or serious criminal cases but they collaborate with SARS. The establishment of SARS aided the work of the Nigerian police from other commands, where the squad has been established as a unit under the State Police Command. Example states where SARS have been established before being established in Kwara were Oyo State, Ogun State, Osun State, and eventually later in Kwara State. As SARS continued to flourish from 2002 in Ilorin, there have been some achievements that have been recorded in the process, in the activities of SARS. Some of the recorded successes can be categorized into three. The first one is investigation of robberies and arrest of criminals of armed robbery cases in Ilorin, which are one of the fundamental problems battling the Nigerian police before. And this, with the SARS, which is the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, this issue of robbery and arrest of criminals in Ilorin have been reduced with the coming of SARS. The other one has to do with the fight against criminality. An instance can be cited
as there are records that SARS in August 2014 collaborated with other law enforcement agencies to actually carry out the arrest of some gangs of 5 suspect criminals that specialize in dismantling and coupling stolen motorcycles in Ilorin capital, Kwara State capital. The report has it that a team of police consisting of SARS and other units in Ilorin arrested suspected hoodlums, criminals, following a tip-off. The police public relations officer, as at then, Mr. Olufemi Fabode, explained that the police recovered 10 dismantled motorcycles from either of suspects. Fabode alleged that the suspected criminals often stolen motorcycles from owners. Also, part of the achievements that SARS recorded is the issue of courtesan, kidnapping, and serious crimes curtailment in Ilorin. The presence of SARS in Ilorin led to the discovery of many kidnapping hideouts, and the rate of courtesan and court groups clashes in the metropolis drastically reduced the minimum to the barest minimum. In 2015, for instance, due to the unabated activities of cultists, other violent crimes, including kidnappers and armed robbers in several parts of the country, the Inspector General of Police, then known as Mr. Idris, dispatched a special crack squad comprising SARS officers to the state to tackle the situation across the country, which is also part of this what is actually militating against the peace of Ilorin metropolis. The situation was for a few days after being brought under control. The record may have it that SARS has been able to arrest more than 3,000 suspected kidnappers across the country. And in fact, the recent success recorded in the high rate of crimes and criminality, especially kidnapping and other deadly vices in most parts of the country, including Ilorin, is largely the handiwork of SARS operatives. On Wednesday, for instance, also, Wednesday, 30th of December 2015, 24 persons suspected to have been participated in various court activities within Ilorin metropolis were arrested by officers attached to the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, of Kwara State Police Command. The suspects were rounded off early hours of that day between the hour of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. at the various homes. The arrest made was part of the SARS. This is also part of the achievement recorded in the SARS activities. Another aspect that I want to talk is the issue that has to do with the emergence of EndSARS saga. Despite the continuous activities of SARS, the continuous achievement of SARS, this is not without its limitations. Emergence of SARS was as a result of some of the negative effects seen in the activities of SARS in Ilorin metropolis. As a national issue, the saga of EndSARS was a national issue, and movement all over the country EndSARS, widely written as Ash EndSARS, was a decentralized social movement and series of mass protests against police brutality in Nigeria. The movement slogan called for disbandment of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, a notorious unit of Nigerian police known for its long record of abuse in cities. They printed from tweeting in 2017, precisely, using the hashtag EndSARS to demand the unit disbandment by the Nigerian government. And of course, the movement experienced a resurgence in October 2020, following the further revelation of the unit abuses and leading to a mass demonstration across major cities in Nigeria and widespread outrage on social media platforms. The hashtag EndSARS accumulated over 20 million tweets on Twitter alone. And this solidarity protest and demonstration by Nigerian in diaspora and sympathizers occurred in many major cities, and Ilorin is included. In Ilorin metropolis, for instance, the movement was predominantly led by young Nigerians and expanded to include demand for good governance and accountability amidst unprecedented hardship in the country. According to a leader of Kwara unit of National Association of Nigerian Students, the movement for prominent in the Ilorin metropolis when were asked to provide young Nigerian students, most males, based on fashion choices, tattoos, and hairstyles. They were also known to set up illegal roadblocks and conduct unwarranted checks and searches, make arrests and detain without warrant or trials, rape women, and extort young male Nigerians from driving exotic vehicles and using laptops and iPhone. In 2017 precisely, a petition was signed by over 1,195 people and was submitted to Nigerian National Assembly calling for a total disbandment of SARS. Eventually, a few senators backed the call for total disbandment of the youth. Consideration was for reforming rather than full disbandment due to the numbers of falling cases falling. The campaigners moved from social media and SARS tag to an organized peaceful protest in Abuja, Lagos, Ibadan, Osun, Benin, Warri, and Ilorin inclusive, and some other towns and other Nigerian cities. This eventually led to the protesters who initially started the protest threatening to continue if the government refused to disband the force, and the government refusal ban was the result of the coroner's call for disbandment of the unit and led to the protest across many cities in Ilorin inclusive. This actually led to forcing the government of the day, the governor Rahman Abdulrazak, to actually lead to actually force the governor to by force join the protest. This was eventually cited in the government of the day, also joining the protesters in the call for disbandment of Nigerian SARS. This was done, was seen on Monday. Ilorin started on Monday, 12 October 2020, when youth in Ilorin joined youth across the country to shut down business activities in Ilorin. It was reported that Nigerian youth on Monday shut down Ilorin, and the Kwara joined their counterparts from other parts of the federation to protest against the activities of special anti-robbery squad SARS. Hundreds of the angry youth, various placards on SARS went around Taiwo Road, Unity Road, Wistofis, Muritala, Sawmill, Ofa Garage, and other major streets in Ilorin to protest an abstract end to what they describe as the nefarious activities of SARS in Nigeria, particularly youth. The Ilorin SARS saga protest of 2020 in the metropolis was targeted toward ending all forms of police brutality in the state. Despite all this, there is still need for us to also, noted. Reported cases of SARS violations of human rights in Ilorin metropolis. There are numerous cases of violations of human rights of SARS in Ilorin. Notable examples can be given. To start with, some of the cases of extortions that are reportedly perpetrated by members of this unit. The case occurred not only in Ilorin but also across the whole federation. So my paper, to conclude, there are reactions of government to this EndSARS protest, and the reaction of government in this line has to do with the issue of just accepting the citizens' call for the disbandment, and that was the aim of the SARS operation in Ilorin and also in part of the country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Korea. Now I'm going to call on Mr. Muhammad Al-Amin for his own presentation. Please, 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, the chairperson of this panel, my co-presenters, the audience. The title of my work is Exploring Opportunities and Transformations with Selected Kingly Chants of the Ilorin. This paper is the continuous use of oral literature. Kingly is a form of oral literature by the Ilorin people, and it is a genre of folk songs passed through the words of mouth from generation to another. However, Kingbe is a traditional Ilorin chant with poetic, musical, and social dimensions. And so I would like to play one of the, okay, please go ahead. I would like to show you one of the songs for just 2 minutes so that you can listen to, then I'll continue my discussion.
Salamu onílé, ọmọ lẹ́kùn o, bẹ́ẹ̀ dẹ̀ mo sálámọ̀, èbí mo sálámọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan o, ọmọ oore. Salamu onílé, ọmọ lẹ́kùn o, bẹ́ẹ̀ dẹ̀ mo sálámọ̀, èbí mo sálámọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan o, ọmọ oore. Ìdí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ò kórè sí elémùrè ò bẹ́ẹ̀ bí mo sálámọ̀. Níbi tá ń síre, síre tá ń sá o. Àmọ́ òjòkó gbàngbà mo òjòkó wọ́n á ń lò bí o, bẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ wọ́n á ń lò bí o, bẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ nọ́rọ̀ lọ́ka o. Ọlọ́sẹ̀ ń kutu náà ṣe lọ́bẹ̀ o, bẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ náà ṣe lọ́bẹ̀ o. Òbí àgbàlá òwe náà pé lóbi o, bẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ náà pé lóbi o. Bébí kú pa mí wò jẹ́jẹ́ yóò ọmọ rẹ̀.
All right, this particular music you just listened to is Kingbe chants, and it is the digitalized Kingbe chants, which has to do with the transformation of Kingbe from the oral tradition, which has now imbibed the digital age that we are in now. And I would like to give a kind of origin of Kingbe. Kingbe is a form of oral chant that is done by the Fulani people in Ilorin, and it is mostly connected to the royal family and those who are very close to the royal family. And also it is most popular among women. This is an avenue for women to participate in oral tradition. And it didn't just stem from the participation of women from oral tradition, but is as a result of their own audibility and feasibility in the society. In the Ilorin society, it is known that in the past, women do not have that audibility and visibility. They are not allowed to be heard or seen in the public sphere. And so they decided to have a platform for themselves, to educate themselves, to entertain themselves by gathering in their own compounds. It is dominated by women. In fact, women are the ones who chant this particular type of song. And so they incorporate the social conditions, the maternal issues, personal issues as well, so as to teach themselves, entertain themselves while they are into their daily activities. And so the transformation of King Bay from that generation of chanters to a more refined, digitalized chanting process has given room for every Ilorin individuals to also have an idea of what King Bay is. And so the focus of this study is to look at the performance aesthetics, the hybridity nature, and the socio-political commentary embedded in King Bay. Like I said, King Bay is a combination of Yoruba Fulani, as the influence of the Yoruba and Fulani. It originated from the Fulani, but the language used is King Bay. I mean, is Yoruba. Why? Because of the nature of the Ilorin society. When you talk of Ilorin, you don't talk of Yoruba. When you talk of Ilorin, you don't talk of Hausa, you don't talk of Fulani, you talk of Ilorin. And this is because there is this multi-cultural aspects, multi-tribal aspect, multi-ethnic aspect of the Ilorin society. And so, Waka plays a significant role in rites, in ceremonies, in activities that has to do with the Ilorin people. And it is typically a lyrical songs which are performed on limited occasion, like I said, unlike other chants like Waka, Pankeke, Dadakwada, and the likes. Previous studies are limited to the structural, aesthetic, and nature of King Bay, but this time around, it is important we look at the transformation and the continuity spaces embedded in these chants. And so this study is designed to explore the unexplored dimensions and providing the aesthetics transformation of King Bay as an oral literary text. Now, the method is simple: to go to the field, get samples, to right. I hope you can hear me, the chair.
No. Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So this research conducts a kind of textual analysis of recorded chants and transcription of these recorded chants. And participants' observation is also done, insights from community elders and performers. So the theory used for this particular research is cultural materialism, which has to do with the social structures by William Raymond, and also Ruth Finnegan's oral performance, which has to do with emphasis on memory, improvisation, and audience interaction. So what are the things we set to look at from this particular transformation? The preservation of the orality from the aspect of idioms, rhythms, call and response. We have the use of communal roles in the society and the likes. For instance, this song we just listened to, we have call and response. We have the use of idioms. We have the use of proverbs. In fact, King Bay itself is only away proverbial songs that when they are taught. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, but network is breaking over there.
Yeah. Okay, so the transformation in King Bay now, this time around, we have shift to digital and individualized performance. Just like I said before, King Bay started as a communal entity. In fact, it is still a communal entity, but there is need to preserve this entity because when you go to weddings, especially in Ilorin, the wedding eves and the likes, you see all these old women gathered chanting. It's even more prominent in this and in recent ceremonies. You have those, especially the wealthy ones. They always summon these chanters
to chant for their, especially in the palaces or those who are well-to-do in the society. But the issue is the song is not only for them. And the song is not only addressing marital issues, it addresses social issues. It has satires in it because it's only a way, like I said earlier, proverbial songs. So there is need for the incorporation of the digital age, which has to do with the continuity and the transformation into a better mode of presentation. And so instead of the gathering, we now have it on tapes, which is an example of what you just listened to. So one of the proponents of this idea is Aji Aramat Olaoye. We call Iyoaye, who notes that Kengbe is now being performed at new spaces as the traditional marriage costumes have evolved with modernization. She also stresses the need to adapt Kengbe performances to contemporary context, lest this oral tradition loses its beauty and significance, ultimately leading to its forgetfulness. Like I said, we have elderly people chanting Kingbe now. We rarely see young girls who are interested in chanting this song because it's not a money-fetching oral performance. So when these women are gone, who are going to take over? And the only way it can be preserved is to digitalize it, and which is what EUIA is doing. So sorry for the transmission, please. I believe you can hear me now. All right. So that's on the aspect of the transformation. And we also have cultural hybridity. The fact that there is now a shift in the mode of presentation, there will definitely be new dimensions to the hybridity nature. And one is the fusion of Yoruba, Fulani, Arabic elements in languages and readings. For instance, we have in every beginning of the chant, you always have salutation, or should I say, greetings to the higher gods. And that's Bismillah, Mubere, Aberere, Tarara, Nanu. All of these are combinations of Arabic, Yoruba, and Fulani language, which is to tell us the epistemic beginning and the continuity of this song, which has reflected the cultural Egypt. Okay. All right. This excerpt explains the hybridity nature of the Ilorin community and how this particular chant has incorporated this hybridity. Other findings of this research shows that Kingbe originated from the Fulani tradition and has been absorbed into Ilorin's Yoruba cultural practices. Chants like Efiyale Bashu highlight socio-economic satire, portraying a wife being exchanged for yam due to hunger in a marital home. That is Iyale Bashu. If somebody decides to marry another wife and the wife is not well fed, you should use the senior one to take I don't know, to take something for the wife so that the wife can survive, because the essence of that is to show us it's more or less like a satire, but it's incorporate the nature of the Ilorin marital status, and it's not only for addressing women issue, but family or familial issue. Also, we have symbolic lines such as Agbada Lari Yekpere Kusikobo Lapu Boda. This is more or less another satire, satirizing the nature of men who dress in flamboyant dresses, but they don't have substance. So, and we can see other aspect of these findings, which is songs like Idobale Lafi Koba Koba Koba, also portrays the cultural nature of how Ilorin people greet their king. Though there is a contrary opinion to this, because it is as a result of the Yoruba influence on that very line, Idobale Lafikoba, in the Emir's palace, they don't prostrate. So it shows the dynamic or the hybridity nature of the Yoruba influence, because the Yoruba people will prostrate, but when you get to the Emir's palace, all right. So the break in transmission has been So I hope you can hear me, ma.
Yes, I can hear you, but you have just 1 minute to round up the presentation.
1 minute, okay. Okay.
Yes, 1 minute.
So this study recommends that digital archiving of Kingbe chants to preserve and adapt oral heritage is very necessary, and we must facilitate scholarly collaboration between linguists, anthropologists, musicians, historians to document chants contextually for it not to lose its real essence. Also, there should be support for this kind of chants. For instance, it should be promoted during Doba, during ceremonies, so that the coming generations will have something to inherit. And also, this particular paper encourages the use of Kingbe in drama. I, for one, have examined it in my production with my students recently, where we incorporated Kingbe in their dramatic performances, and it went viral, and people talked about it. And in fact, many people are now interested in singing or chanting this song. And also, to create local and international festivals like Doba, or competition showcasing Ilorin oral forms like Kingbe, and to provide educational workshops and curriculums to enhance this. And in conclusion, Kingbe illustrates dynamic continuity and creates creative transformation.
Is ready.
I have concluded.
Sorry, we have to. Thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you very much.
You are not here, but I have concluded.
Dr. Dr. Abdulwasi Olayinka Kedere. Thank you. You have 15 minutes.
Good afternoon, all. I'm here to discuss the topic trends in globalization and their impact on the traditional economy of Malete and Nawa districts of Ilorin, Emirates, Nigeria. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello?
Can hear you clearly.
We are with you. We can hear you.
To start with, I want to say that the outline for this presentation is as follows. We have abstracts, we have introduction, we have brief conceptual discussion on what we mean by globalization and economic globalization. We have an aspect where we are going to talk about the impact of globalization on economic activities in Malete and Nawa districts. We are going to look again at the challenges of globalization and economic activities in Malete and Nawa districts. Then we have a conclusion. The abstract reads, this research investigates the dynamic trends in globalization and their transformative effects on the traditional economic practices in Malete and Nawa districts of Ilorin Emirates, Nigeria, that is between year 2000 and 2024. Globalization is characterized by the increasing interconnection of nations through trade, technological advancements, and cultural exchange has significantly reshaped regional economies around the world. This research identifies both the opportunities and the challenges introduced by globalization, drawing on field research, oral interviews, and archival documentations. This study provides an in-depth analysis of how globalization has altered the traditional economic landscape of the districts, while proposing strategies for sustainable adaptation of local economies to global trends. The findings of this research of this paper contribute to scholarly debates on the localized impacts of globalization, offering insights for policymakers, development practitioners, and researchers in African economic history and globalization studies. To start with, Malete and Nawa are two of the 5 districts that form where is referred to today as Moro local government area of Kwara State. Moro local government area of Kwara State is one of the 5 local government areas that constitutes what we refer to as the Ilorin Emirate. The traditional economy of Malete and Lawa districts had been built around farming, hunting, craftsmanship, charcoal production, food production, trade, etc. These trade or these economic activities have survived the pre-colonial period, and the colonial period has majorly impacted them through the policies and activities of the colonial government, vis-a-vis the introduction of tax, introduction of cash crops, provision of rail lines, to mention a few. Additionally, successive post-colonial governments have at the same time tried to maintain growth of the economy of these districts, including others. But this did not put end to the struggle or to the history of the growth of the economy of this area and their transformation as the wake of globalization, which some scholars have pegged to the beginning of the new millennium in year 2000, and at the same time had positive impacts on the economic activities of these two districts, as well as its negative impacts. To look at the concept of globalization, it's said in this paper that it refers to a multidimensional set of social processes that creates, multiply, stretch, and intensify worldwide social interdependencies and exchanges, while at the same time fostering in people a growing awareness of deepening connections between the local and the distant. While we have several types, varying types of globalization, this paper is concerned about what we refer to as economic globalization. Economic globalization is that part of globalization, type of globalization that is focused on the free movement of goods, services, and people across the world. This type of globalization that offers developing countries and local communities, such as Malete and Lawa district, the opportunity to create wealth through export-led growth, to expand international trade in goods and services, and to gain new ideas, technology, and institutional designs. As opined by some scholars, some of who include Farrington and Mitchell, it has been concluded that the penetration of rural markets by global goods and increased services with consequent implications for consumption and welfare, the manifestations of global economic processes relevant in the rural communities. It is if today we are seeing goods that are produced all in some overseas countries in Malete district and Lawa district today, it's as a result of globalization. At the same time, we have products, local produces that have had the opportunity of being exported outside the country. Okay, that's of course is another impact of globalization on the local economy. We want to briefly again look at globalization and local economy as we have understood what economic globalization is all about. This is under 3 points that this paper is discussing it. One, the paper is saying that globalization and local economy has come together, and then it has brought about what we refer to as liberalization of international trade. What do we mean by that? We are concluding that globalization has enabled cross-border local goods
to have opportunity in the outside world. Also on that, another aspect of relationship globalization and local economy, the expansion of agro-industry. This paper discusses that this economic globalization has reflected the continuing expansion and mutual integration of market frontiers, and it is an irreversible trend for the economic development in the whole world at the turn of the new millennium. Another aspect that is the wider use of information and communication technology. All of this shall also be discussed further when we start looking at the impact of globalization on the economic activities in Malete and Lawa districts. Under that, we are going to be looking at 6 points. The first is modernization of traditional economic activities. As we mentioned earlier, they has brought about the influx of individuals who are not of Malete or Nanwa district origin. Not only that, those individuals are not even from the Emirates at all. Not only that, they are not from what we refer to as Kwara State. The paper argues that it's as a result of continued globalization or economic globalization that the people of the district now have individuals who are of Togo, origin, to be of Togolese origin, to be laborers in both Lanwa and Malete districts. There are some also others who are not from Kwara State but from Benue State, who are majorly referred to as the Kudi, a bastardized form of the capital of Benue State, which is Makurdi. The paper concludes on that the presence of these individuals as a result of the continued globalization, which has been affecting economic activities between local communities and making them to have opportunity to connect with the outside world. The second point under that is the introduction of mechanized farming. Globalization has helped as science and technology grows, and then machines are being invented. That, of course, has also helped the economy of Malete and Lawan districts by bringing about the introduction of mechanized farming into the area. Before now, farmers in those districts used to go to farm and do all their doings with their, tools. But in the recent time, we have recorded use of machines for the plowing of their farmlands, even for harvesting and for the, separation of unneeded parts of the crops, that is the shaft, from what is actually needed to be sold and to be consumed. Instead of the use of the manual processes, globalization has helped the economic activities of that area to, involve the use of machines and, invented objects. Globalization has also helped charcoal production, which is one of the economic activities of that area, to get opportunity into the outside world. As observed in some areas of these districts, you have individuals who are not Nigerians and not even Africans. Some Chinese, nationals were actually observed to have come to this area for large purchase of charcoal. And this charcoal, at the point of research, we discovered that they were not to be sold or used in Nigeria, but they are to be transported outside the country. Further investigation revealed that the containers were to be led to a proper port in Lagos, and from where they would be transported outside the country. This, of course, had helped the production of charcoal in that area to gain, continuous, shopping malls, supermarkets, modern eateries, what have you, being open in some of these districts. And this was as a result of globalization, or economic globalization, which is bringing to us information about those things that are apparent in the outside world, introducing them to the districts. And while we see individuals who are trying to come up with them, it's actually making producers of foodstuffs and what have you in the local environment to enjoy more patronage, and at the same time shaping or reshaping what used to be the domicile economy of the area. Globalization has also affected laundry service, which used to be part of the traditional economic activities of that area. What we used to know was the alagbafo, traditional alagbafo, who will meet individuals who are richer in the community and then they wash within their laundries and all of that. But because of the growth of science and technology, invention of washing machines and all of that, and the spread of the idea of the use of machines for doing laundries, we now have individuals who have they have modern laundry services in this district. That, of course, had made some of the traditional alagbafo, to have up their games and by mopping up and trying to purchase the machines, so their businesses can grow further. And at the same time, it has opened opportunity for some graduates who have not been employed by the government or who needed more sources of income, and they have embarked on that. They are doing well, as the research proves. Let us go to the challenges of globalization on economic activities in Madita district. Under that, we are going to be pointing at only 6
so I think
now lose the opportunity of disengaged, because machines are now being used so frequently, especially by those people who have the opportunity to engage the tractors, in drivers. The issue of charcoal production that we have said has contributed to the growth of the economy of the area also has its implications. Implication includes climate change, desertification, soil erosion, fewer crops, station. And we have similar information about businesses in Lanwa District 2. So all of these are issues.
Thank you very much. your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Okay, how's
We are with you, ma.
Okay, thank you very much. I forgot now this my okay. Now it's time for questions, observation, comments on the papers presented today. So I'm going to call on anybody in house or over there. Okay, Dr. Ismail has raised up his hand. So please, your questions, Dr. Ismail.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear Dr. Ismail, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, the
presenters.
My observation and
question will go to
Dr. Nasser on the presentation. I want to observe that
the King
performance.
Please come again.
Challenges or critics
come again, please.
Islamic scholars who are typically against such performances by women folks and some of the performances by women folk. So, given those kind of criticisms, opposition that we now have these days, can we actually see some of these performances like Kingbe, like Waka, like Balu, and the rest of them being actually transformed into the next level within the Ilorin socio-cultural milieu? Thank you.
Sorry, sir. Please,
Dr. Ismail for the question.
I didn't get your question, but I would like you to mute yourself whenever you want to speak. I guess you are all in the same room, so it's echoing. Maybe whoever wants to speak should be the only one with the mic on, please. So I didn't get any of the questions asked.
Okay, maybe I should come again, sir.
Yes, please.
And to consider other female-dominated performances like Waka Balu, like Pakenke, and trying to see what extent they can be transformed through the areas or the media that you have suggested here, how they can be incorporated into drama, into the drama annual performance, and the rest of them. And also, are you also considering what challenge contemporary criticisms and opposition by some section of the ulama will have on trying to promote these performances to the next level, trying to preserve them and also digitize them, given that some now see some of these performances as a little bit anti-Islam or not supported by Islam, and giving a lot of Islamic orientation. So how are we going to navigate these challenges in order to preserve these women-dominated Ilorin oral performances like Kengbe, like Waka, like Balu, Pakeke, and the rest of them? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is that the only question for now? Do you have any question for the other presenters? Okay, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Can you please respond?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Otukoko. It's quite a very interesting question, and I would like to start with the last one, that what do people think of the implication in transforming this oral literature into the digital space? You know, in Ilorin, we are always very careful of the kind of things we do or the kind of things we say, because it always has implications. But we shouldn't forget the fact that this is a scholarly work, and we must be as objective as possible so that we'll give valid information to whoever is. So I personally don't see Kengbe, Waka, Pakenke, Balu as a religious text. I see them as a literary text that can be analyzed within any purview of theoretical application. And so when we talk of religiosity, we have different types of waka. We have waka olomole, we have waka uniesi, and we have waka of a social gathering. And so waka of a social gathering should not be done wherever you are having a sermonic waka. And when you are having waka olomole, you shouldn't render waka social in it. So I believe the ulamas, the clerics, they should not think when we talk of waka, we are talking of the waka of the sermons. And also we should understand that waka is transforming. We have different types of waka, like I said. So we have Balu, and the kind of dances, the kind of instruments, musical instrument that has been introduced to this form of oral literature or oral performances are in so many ways contradicting the Islamic orientation of what music should be, because Islam does not really support music, so to say, especially with the use of drums and the likes. So, but we have many types of waka now that they use bandiri, they use drum set and the likes. So, but the only thing we can do is to ensure that this form of performances are transformed, are being encouraged, like I did for the second, second question you asked, or maybe the first question you asked, the transforming, the preservation of this oral text. It can be done through various channels. When you go on YouTube, you go on TikTok and all of these, you will see them. In fact, I was surprised when my students were sending me reactions of people to the choice of songs they used for their presentation. And among the choices, we also have waka in it. We have Kengbe in it. In fact, we brought people from the Emir's Palace to give us the Kakaki presentation, performances. That is to incorporate. And when these students listened to it, they were so encouraged that they want to even learn it. So I believe instead of them listening to hip hop and Fuji and the likes, they should also be encouraged to listen to this sort of musical performances. So on the side of preservation, we don't have a choice than to continue to tell our people, orientate them. And in terms of religious overview of what waka is, or what these performances is, I think religion, we have to stay one side, and the Ilorin culture, we have to stay on the other side. but both can still coexist if they tend to cohabit together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Alan, there's a question there from one of the attendees. Okay, please.
Once again, to see in the second section. Rather than to what the presenters I get section. The question I wanted to ask Dr. Adiago, Dr. Boko already asked the question because I really do not see, or let me just say, I rarely come across a chance and what I should say, worker and what I mean on social media, like hip-hop songs that I would see frequently on social media. So I was curious to know how this can be chants reserved for the future generation. And you said it is elderly female that chants this songs. Is it songs now? Yes, if it's elderly women that chants it, once they die, who will take it on from them? Then the second question is directed to Dr. Kebuleri. Yes, I can relate with the choice of your data, or let me say the population of your data, which is Kwara State University. So my question is the fact that the establishment of Kwara State University in Malete has led to several farmlands and family compounds converted to hostels and commercial properties. So how has this redefinition of land use affected food production and access to affordable housing to indigenous and residents in Malete? Thank you. Did you get that?
Yes, I want to implore the panelists to please be very brief in their response because of time.
Okay.
I mean, can you respond very fast?
All right, thank you so much. The question is quite interesting, and I believe the essence of this research is to ensure the continuity and preservation of King chants. And this is what you are doing. Ramat is a younger folk who does King, and she has incorporated it in the space of social media. She goes to the studio to record the song, though it will lose certain aspects of the cultural or the performative aspect of it, but at least you can still listen to some of this. I have asked some of my students to carry out their research on King B, Kwaka, and the likes, and they recorded it. And some of them decided to put the video online for others to see. People from Ibadan, my students who are from Ibadan, were asked go to Ilorin, go and get data, document it, transcribe it, translate it, and the like. So these are some of the ways we can. And as historians, as people in the humanities, these are the only ways we can do to contribute to the preservation of our culture. So I believe the digital space is enough for us to preserve our culture, and we should encourage people to use it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Kebuleri, please respond to your question.
Thank you very much. Issue of Kwara State University, Malete, and the issue of indigenous housing, accommodation, and all that. It is interesting to note that before the establishment of Kwara State University in 2009, the issue of accommodation provision as business was not common in Malete. In fact, some areas in what later became the university today used to be bushes where we used to hunt for Ibeagogo, a kind of joint hunting exercise. So Malete before that time had been popular, but in the population there was not as as much as it is today. So we cannot take it away that the university establishment and the growth or increase in the population of students of the university at intervals have, to a large extent,
contributed to issue of increased provisions of accommodation in the Malete area. Noting that the paper does not only focus on Malete community, which is part of the Malete districts. Also, understanding that the paper also covers another district of the Emirate, which is Marawa district. It does not concern itself with so much bordering on the issue of accommodation business. But the fact remains that since the university has been established, accommodation has become a major business in that area, especially, of course, for students who live off campus. Now we have staff members of the university who now reside in Malete. At least 0.001% of PRASU staff have been identified as residents in Malete who often come to Ilorin or travel to wherever area they have come from by weekends. So that's a very good one. Thank you for that. But the paper does not concern itself with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your time, for your wonderful presentation. Unfortunately, this is how far we can go. It's already 2:15 and our time is up. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, our host.
The family reunion.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about your special. Really, your partner is talking about
Small, I mean, talking about